You see, I have to click lot of buttons here, recording, audio, video, and so are we experiencing the change in our behavior, attitude in our daily life? If yes, then we are a seeker. Now I'm being a straightforward. What is that behavior, attitude, response, reaction, anxiety? You see a person and mind triggers a reaction. Mind triggers a reaction. You see the, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. How are you? So that shows a particular trigger in the mind. How are you? I'm always fine. And how are you? Even mind triggers a reaction of likes and dislikes. You see, be very practical. Some people say that you are talking too much of these principles theory. No, there is no theory and practice. They are not separate. They are here and now in Eastern wisdom. Finish. Period. When I say something and make a statement, how your mind, does your mind reacts or responds or understands? Go deeper. Are we experiencing the change in our behavior and attitude in our daily life? So if they are changing, you are becoming aware, and that simply means what? Do you remember? The mind is getting purified. Not only in meditation, it is not that, you go take a shower, now body is purified, the next day you will do it. No, no, no. It is internal. It has to be 24/7. Are you getting it? That is the journey of awakening and meditation. So we know mind is getting purified, not dictated by the past impression. Past impression causing the three diseases. Do you remember? So if you do not contemplate, it will never happen. Then you will listen, oh, this weird guy talks very good, but nothing is happening. Obviously, you have to change. So, my friends, are we experiencing the change in our behavior and attitude in our daily life? If yes, then we are becoming a seeker. We are a seeker. So that change in behavior and attitude comes from the mind. So how do I understand? Mind is getting purified, not dictated by the past impression. Why the past impression? Coming from the three diseases. I start taking over the mind. I start working on the mind. When I was just telling for David and Jerry also that no, I purify the body, taking a shower, use soap, and etc. That is one time in 24 hours. But I communicate daily, I think all the time. Thinking gives me a response or reaction. Is mind getting purified? If yes, I am a seeker. It will help us raise our level of awareness in daily living. We start working on the mind. We are going in a Now going deeper, deeper, and deeper. So, if I should have talked of these things in the very beginning, you said what this guy is talking. It does not make any sense. But now you realize that yes, it is making a sense. Do you still remember my conversation with the sugar? Do you remember? So, do you want to remain as a sugar 24/7? A person comes you don't like, that is your past impression. Likes, dislikes. Do you instantly become aware and alert as if the snake has come? No more. I don't want. That will change our behavior and attitude. Do you see that? Do you see that? That is what we have to do in our daily life. Why I do not experience that sweetness all the time? Even after knowing and confirmation in the intellect. What is the confirmation? Do you love peace? Yes, peace is my nature. Why I should be affected and dictated by anything in the world outside? This is what the higher teachings of our great masters. That is why the master says, I'm repeating again, Satasangatve Nisasangatvam. You are listening and learning. The knowledge is settled in the intellect, and that knowledge is available to you 24/7. Why? So the mind cannot dictate any terms to you. Sugar. Remember the conversation with the sugar. Your mind says you hate a person, but you want to take care of yourself. The mind still flows in the same peace, love. Are you getting it? Is it not possible? It is possible. That will lead us to the higher journey. So that is why Satsangatve Nisasangatvam. Satsang, listening and learning, communicating in these principles, settling in the intellect, and changing the direction of the mind. That is what it is known as. Satsang literally means the company with the real self. Where? In the knowledge. Where in the knowledge? Knowledge in the intellect. So what will happen? The intellect says, why mind? You are crazy. Why you are working with the likes and dislikes? Will you get anything? Think of this. Yes, I will get a lot of things. I get upset. I don't want to be upset. Why? How? Knowledge is there. So that is by simply listening and allowing the knowledge to settle in the intellect, detachment, the first disease is gone. First disease is gone. Then comes the second disease, Nisasangatve Nirmohatvam. With that detachment comes, it drops the delusion. Do you see that? It drops the delusion. And when the delusion drops, Nirmohatve Nishchal Tattvam, our mind cannot be wandering. So simple. It wanders only because of these three illnesses. I have to complete my MBA. Sam started looking. Because you contemplate a lot, so that's why I'm pointing you. Yes, complete it. So then nirmohatve, that mind is steady, and the steady mind succeeds in meditation. So this is the fourth session. The first three last sessions are connected to each other. Take one example, simple example. I see Sangeeta. I am a knower of Sangeeta. Now I'm going little deeper. It only demands an awareness. It's not a theory, it's a practice. Here and now. Say, I am knower of Sangeeta. Now mind says, I like Sangeeta or I dislike Sangeeta. There are two types of knowledge. First knowledge, I know Sangeeta. Finished. Mind says, no, I like Sangeeta, I dislike Sangeeta. Now with that knowledge, mind has imposed the first illness. Did you understand that? I'm a knower of Brandy, I'm a knower of Barbara, I'm a knower of David, a knower of Jeb. That much is enough. Do you see that? The second knowledge comes from the mind. From where the mind? That shapes my behavior and attitude. Do you see that? You have to see, you have to understand this. And the moment intellect, I know this word, I know David has a beautiful home. Now, how the mind says, if I had this, now the problem begins. I lost awareness and then the mind takes over. This is what we say. Mind is working on me. Go to the same example. I had the conversation with the sugar cube. You see, then check the mind. Oh, I'm so happy. You have such a beautiful home. Finished. Finished. So will that mind be wandering? Now imagine how those awakened people live their daily life. They are communicating the same way. But internally, they are totally relaxed. They are never busy. So you see that, understand that. That is what, in the fourth session I'm concluding, and the next time that we will take up another bigger principle. So when we are a seeker, now come, I remember that he's a good friend of mine in New Jersey. So he says, you always talk that there is a 6,000 years old tradition, there is a 3,000 text, and there are 3,000 teachers. What else I have to do? You don't see the importance of it. That is what I want to say. So we have 80,000 verses on rituals, including Kundalini, how you breathe to the right and the left, how do you change the rate and the rhythm of the breath, what mantra, there are 1 million mantras are there. That is given to us by the Eastern wisdom to prepare myself as a seeker only. Finished. I had a friend here, wonderful friend. She sent an email, which mantra is most powerful? I said, are you powerful or not? Based on that, I will give you the mantra. We have to remove that delusion. We will use the mantra, but 80,000 verses, millions of mantras. Then we have another 16,000 verses, teachings on how to practice meditation on Shiva or Krishna or this goddess and that goddess. We have only 4,000 verses on pure understanding and the knowledge. But if we do not pass through it, we cannot understand this knowledge. Only 4,000. Out of 4,000, we need hardly 100 verses. You bring an end to the suffering, and you are there. So every time you think, you speak, and act in your daily life, go back, have a conversation, recall the conversation with sugar. You become aware, mind says, no, I'm not coming to you with these three illnesses. I'm only a knower, I'm only a witness. That mind is purified. And the purified mind always succeeds. That is what Master says. Now go back, I'm taking you little back to make you understand if you have forgotten. I believe you have not. So what is that? Ask yourself, am I a seeker? How I know what I want. Keep your awareness that who am I? Example, am I a husband or am I a man? Am I a man? Then am I the body or am I the real self? So step back. Understand, something came to my mind that's very important. The science is also an instrument of knowledge with its application. And Eastern wisdom is also the instrument of knowledge. Now see how they work. Science is an instrument of knowledge, moves forward. What is the meaning of the moving forward? Moving forward. It wants everything should be in front of the mind. How do I know, Brandy? She is in front of my mind. Are you understanding? How do I know it's smartphone? It is in front of my mind. Eastern wisdom is an instrument of knowledge that says step back. That is why we close our eyes and we ask the mind to look inside. Did you understand that difference? Keep that knowledge, digest it, assimilate it, eat it and drink it. So much so that the moment it comes to a subject of meditation and to know who am I, the mind calms down. Why mind calms down? Mind has to step back. Mind does not calm down because it is in front. I see lot of people. 5 people ask the question at the same time. Mind says, hold on, one after the other. I'm busy. I'm fully busy. That it is only because of this. Are you getting it? I'm invoking another principle. When I have the knowledge that this knowledge is asking me to step back. The finest definition I recall comes from the oldest text, which is Rig Veda, which is almost 5,500 years old text. It says, are you aware of, take an example, are you aware of, say for example, Barbara, yes. How you are aware of it? I'm aware because I see her through my eyes. Step back, come to the eyes. Okay, but how eyes are helping me to see Barbara? Step back to the mind. Do you see that? I have to simply become aware of it. I need not to do anything. Objects, Barbara. A person, Barbara. Then, second, I step back. You see, that is how this knowledge works. Don't mix them two. Science has to work in its own field. Eastern wisdom has to work in its own field. Now, step back. Continue to step back. First is the Barbara that I see through my eyes. Then I become aware of my eyes. Clear? That is the meaning of step back. Then, who backs the eyes? Mind. I become aware of the mind. There, the mind says, I like Barbara, I dislike Barbara. Because if I do not step back, I cannot realize that. You all are seekers, so I have to talk the higher principle. Do you see that? So, in Eastern wisdom, we always step back with the knowledge. In science, we always step forward. Two streams of knowledge. So, where we have come down from the Barbara to eyes, step back, mind. If I do not step back, I cannot recognize these likes and dislikes. I'm carried away. I'm blown away. Are you getting it? Step back. Mind, from where you are getting this consciousness of likes and dislikes, from where you are getting this consciousness. Is consciousness different from the mind, or it is the mind? So I step back. What do I find? I find my real self. Now, if any scientist says, prove it, where is the real self? They have to step forward. Do you understand that? They have to step forward. I cannot see the real self in front because it is the journey of stepping backward, step. And ultimately, how long you have to continue to step backward? Until you see an entity that is permanent, that is cannot be changed. You cannot move backward more. You are settled. That settlement is known as the real self, pure consciousness, whatever you want to say. To do that, what I want, who am I, what is this world, what is the existence, why? Why? Another student from Eastern Europe sent an email, I want to bring an end to the suffering. Do you understand what the suffering is? No, I heard from you. So here's something more from me, that you are crazy. Will you accept it? No, I have to contemplate and reflect. So we live with a new normal in our social, professional, family life with the likes and dislikes. I have to recognize them in my mind. And I should have an intense aspiration that I want to get rid of these likes and dislikes, because that is causing the suffering. Then only I realize that I want to bring an end to the suffering. If I do not think, nothing will happen. Then you'll say, oh, this beard guy talks good, but it's all theory. because the mind is not allowing you to think. Do you see? It's your problem. So, why I want to bring an end to this? From where? Now, ask the third question, from where? Knowledge of the science or knowledge of the Eastern wisdom? You know the answer. How? Answer these questions. What I want, why I want, from where, and how. 3 questions. Who wants it? So when you answer the previous questions clearly, who wants it? Come on, I'm a seeker. Finished. So then what happens? You live, think, and speak like a seeker in your personal, professional, social life. Seeker inside, husband outside, seeker inside, wife outside, seeker inside, teacher outside, seeker inside, student outside. Done. Finished. Simultaneously. No conflict. No conflict. You have a simultaneous awareness of that state. How it comes, I need not to remind you, fourfold practices: power of discernment, dispassion, 6 treasures. Intellect will be self-motivated, not to go to the likes and dislikes, not that causes the sorrow and the suffering, not to fall back into the delusion. Now, let me name third person Michael. I say, no, Michael came to my house, and you say, I hate Michael. Instantly. Do you see that? Instant. We don't ask the intellect, please think first. What I have to do with Michael? Recall the conversation. That's why I started that story. Recall my conversation with the sugar cube. So once we have that conversation inside us, the mind is getting purified, it is naturally steady, and in that steadiness, meditation succeeds. The last point that I want to bring it from another text. The lukewarm effort in practice, in understanding and listening, will not work. I have heard you, yes, I know it. It will not work. And I need to live into that awareness all the time. Oh, I have to make an extra effort? You are wrong. Awareness, intense awareness, does not come by an effort. Busyness comes by an effort. Likes and dislikes comes by an effort. Now see this Eastern wisdom. I explained you 80,000 verses, 16,000 verses, 4,000 verses, and then we are going to cover only 100 verses. Now, every master, after guiding us all those 80,000 verses, including Kundalini, etc., and the mantras, now understand what the master is saying before we start with the practice. The master is saying, I am quoting this, let elaborate rituals be performed by a person. Let a personal God be propitiated. Master is saying, without the knowledge of one's real self, there cannot be awakening, there cannot be success in meditation. Not even in the lifetime of 100 births. Do you see the same master who says, oh, do this mantra? I also give many mantras to the people, depending on the temperament, the level. But now the same master is saying, throw them into the basket. This is not for you. Why? Because you are a seeker. See that? Do you remember I told you that my master said, do you now you realize? Yes, I realize. Throw all the books, burn all the books. We use the concept only to understand, to help the mind to purify and practice. You practice, you reach to that state, through all the concepts. Burn them. Tell me, can you throw any concept of the science? Because if I live with any concept, I'm still bound. Still, there is a bondage. I have to depend on it. Then you have to think a lot in today's session. No, it doesn't mean that only Sam has to think, everyone has to think. So let us start our practice now. Eyes are closed. Body is steady. Steady body, mind is facing within. Now you are clear. The Eastern wisdom is an instrument of knowledge that helps us, that shows how to step back. Eyes are closed means goodbye to the world outside of people, of objects, of images. Goodbye. Do you still remember the idea? Doors. A tricky situation. So I added one more thing, that the mind is facing within, looking inside, supporting the mind, not with the past impression, but with the freshness. Who is knowing all this? Intellect. How? You already had the understanding, clarity, non-verbal awareness. So what will happen? The body will remain steady. Let us go a little deeper to being comfortable. Let us follow casually. Now, it's not a concept that you follow, but you follow it for the sake of practice. Neck joint. You remember, sensation, comfort, and steadiness that you don't see through the sense organ. It is not physical, it is mental purely. And then the intellect becomes aware of the steadiness in the body. It is not the steadiness of the body. Then you practice meditation while sitting, while jumping, while eating, while talking, while lying on one side or the other side. Does not matter. Why? You're aware of the steadiness. inside. Means that stillness, that steadiness is independent of the body. What will happen? Discernment comes. Your intellect will declare, I'm not the body, then let me sit in any pose, posture, any position. Look at it. Can we see that and realize that today? Look at the shoulder joints, be there, feel sensation, comfort, and stillness. And my understanding, that stillness is in the body. It is not belongs, it is not of the body. Let me put another wisdom here. That stillness in the body is the steadiness of the intellect, because the knowledge is steady there. Drop this knowledge. Mind says, I feel uncomfortable in the body. Don't you see I have lot of problems with the body? You are identified with the body. You lost that awareness. You are gone. You fell down from being a seeker. See that. Another explanation of being comfortable. Move the mind on all the joints of the body and make a journey. Sensation, comfort, stillness, space, awareness. Awareness is space, and space is awareness. I believe you still remember Eastern wisdom is an instrument of knowledge that helps us, guides us to step back, not step forward. You keep that awareness in the intellect and then tell me, is the mind wandering? Even if it is wandering, there are a lot of thoughts. That knowledge keeps the steadiness in the intellect, and the mind continues to move inside in spite of these thoughts and feelings and images. I believe you are all understanding. And that is what is being carefree. That is what I have been saying by different metaphors. Standing across the road watching the traffic. Now you have gone deeper. Birds flying in the sky. Space remains intact. Replace the space with the sugar, remains intact. Oh, many birds? No problem. No worries. I'm still sweet. My friends, we use the mantra to keep that knowledge steady. Sarve Sham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. You already know, may there be well-being. So what we are pointing to the mind, that state of the well-being is always present deeper within. They still remember you have to step back. You are aware of the entire world, simultaneous awareness of the people, things outside, and deeper inside, we perceive the state of well being. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all, and that peace. Why there is a peace for all? Because the peace is the essential nature of everything, including me. Don't you love peace? Yes, peace is my nature. Does the ant love peace? Yes. Tiger? Yes. My pet? Yes. My friend? Yes. My enemy? Yes. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. And you can go deeper. We have clarified with the knowledge that peace is like a good space. How? Again, I'll use the word you will understand. Step back. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Let there be completeness, and all sugar is complete in itself. You, each one of us, including me, we all are complete in ourselves. Mind cannot see, the intellect with the knowledge has to be realized in the mind. Sense of wholeness, completeness. Mango is complete in itself. Lemon is complete in itself. Earth is complete in itself. You, me. So when we have that awareness that I'm complete in myself, and the mind starts running, intellect says, where are you running? Come on. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. May there be auspiciousness for all. Or happiness for all. Auspiciousness means the next moment that is right in ahead should be similar the way I'm experiencing now. That is the meaning of living in a moment. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So we understood Om is the name of the real self. Shanti is peace. I remember, so from the master, so I'm adding that step. Move the mind from the crown of the head in the spine to the tailbone, singing mentally and stepping back with the mantra. Om. Om is the real self, and the real self is behind the mind. So when you say Om, give a long pause, space, infinite space, and then Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. As if your saying Shanti is absorbed and melts. What will happen? You will experience transcending the body naturally, consciously. You are perfectly in a casual and a natural state. Can I use the word to make understand? Lazy with the world outside and awareness and attention inside. Again, mind starts moving. You're stepping back. If the mind is on the senses, no more, no problem. Next stepping back is the mind. And then from the mind behind. Now you are on any object or a sound, no issue or a touch. Step back. Why? Dwells behind. And then Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I know you already know the understanding of the Shanti, good space. There is a poem which says that this mind like a drop of a water and that drops into an ocean of space. You cannot find the mind. Doesn't mean that you do not maintain your awareness. In that awareness, we discover what we want. That is why we're not in a hurry. Why? We are not busy. Shanti, Shanti. Follow your own way of reciting mentally. You will easily become aware if the mind wants to hurry. You realize, oh mind, you are doing like this. I could realize. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. The way we see the objects and the people in the mind, we are seeing the Shanti and the Om in the intellect. Shanti. 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 In a way, we are doing nothing. Our goal is to step back. Taking the help, definitely. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti may be a car. Beautiful, I appreciate everyone. Shanti, Shanti. 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 I believe what a beautiful state. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside. Your experiences will share our experiences. Now, how are you, David?
I really enjoyed the preamble, I guess, and that had me really just the whole meditation going behind to a point where I heard your voice, but it was just like a white noise in the background, and that was probably the fastest meditation I've ever had.
Beautiful. And you see, the knowledge did everything, understanding did everything. I did nothing. You have to be beautiful, David. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. Just a great space. Love the takeaway for me is just with this infinite wisdom that we have. When something transpires with the body, we can work on the body, but the body doesn't work on us.
Yeah.
Same with relationships and everything else that we deal with day to day. So that sweetness is always there, and that's a pretty empowering place to live.
Beautiful. Yes, most empowering place to live because we are able to maintain that awareness. We don't fall. We continue to rise. Inside, how are you, Brandy?
I'm doing pretty good. My practice today was similar to David's in the sense that I was stepping back, right? I just kept stepping back, and it was kind of creating this separateness from, like Dre said, the body and the stuff that's going on outside of me. So it was focused. It was good.
It was focused. You see, the separateness means what? We understood what is discernment, and now we are there in the field of awareness. Beautiful. How are you, Stephen? How come Terry is so still? We'll talk later. Yes, Stephen.
It was very peaceful. It was relaxing for me in a very quiet, dark space. And from the moment I closed my eyes, I just felt just this relaxation go through my body and pure peace.
Pure peace, yes. That is good. My master used to say, you stay in the permanent state of the peace and everything is done. So there are different expressions. That's what we are learning. So, how are you, Terry?
I'm having some trouble. So I'm observing myself having that experience.
Yeah.
And I can't close my eyes.
I saw it, yeah.
And I want to tell about it, but it's hard for me to breathe right now.
Yes.
I'm waiting for
Terry,
meditation.
that is why I pointed out, and perhaps you might have heard, that we have to step back, whatever the position of the body, sitting, eating, talking, but I maintain that awareness.
Yeah.
So even someday you are not able to close your eyes, good. You are able to close your eyes, good.
Yes.
We are at yeah.
If I cannot conquer my ailment now, I can do the lesson again and again.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm having an anxiety attack.
You are inspiring others, I could see that.
Really?
Yeah.
I was watching Brandy and her cat because last night I was relaxed, and then I woke up. I dozed off, woke up, and right on the floor.
Listen again, do it again, and send an email. But no doubt, you rightly said, Brandy and her cat both are beautiful. How are you, Sam?
Okay.
I'm good. The meditation was very gentle. Your voice is very gentle and soothing. I noticed that from time to time my body just adjusted to the space to maintain comfort, but that's okay. And any thoughts that came in seemed to settle into that contemplation and reflection, so that they came in and I said, oh, okay, contemplate, reflect, move on. And it was quick and peaceful and quiet.
Quick, peaceful, good. Very most important thoughts will continue to come. But how you deal with these thoughts, feelings, and images, they are bound to come. But you are totally away from it. You reflect it and it is gone. That is what the Sam is saying. How are you, Barbara?
I'm very good, thank you. As soon as I closed my eyes, I felt completely removed from everything. And then the peace kept coming over me like in waves.
Yeah.
It was a very beautiful experience.
Beautiful. That's a wonderful, you see. Now, how are you, Antoinette?
That was very good. It was very peaceful. And I just kind of observed I felt like I was observing the whole experience, just taking it in. And it very peaceful and restful.
Beautiful. That's beautiful, peaceful, restful. We have to repeat it again. Listen to it. The last four, this is the fourth one, the last three sessions, all the four, they are together. They talk of the one principle. How are you, Sangeeta?
सर एक अलग तरह का एक्सपीरियंस था. ऐसे लग रहा था जैसे मैं बाहर से अपने आप को अंदर जो है उसको देख रही हूँ और जो अंदर है वो बाहर को देख रहा है. मतलब
Yeah, it's
Different,
a
बहुत अच्छा लगा.
beautiful experience. She is saying that she is looking outside from inside, and she was looking what is inside from outside. It's a just think of it, that how it is possible, and it is only possible by awareness transcending the sense organs and the mind. Why? Consciousness is pervading, all pervading. It is present everywhere. So the mind is reflecting on it, that what is inside I'm looking from outside, what is outside I'm looking from inside. It's another expression. They all are same expressions. Beautiful. Any question? No question. Thank you very much. We will meet again. Remain sugar.
Namaste.
Remain sugar. Namaste. Remain sugar.
Thank you.
Thank you. Remain sugar.